What if I told you that their own son was the source of the most startling scandal in Atlanta's history of love and hip-hop? Rather than Rasheeda or Kirk's ugly, unfaithful past? Hold on tight, family. This isn't your typical reality TV drama. This plot surprise is true and may have been written by Tyler Perry. Imagine these headlines claiming that Kirk Frost's kid, who shot a well-known rapper, is suddenly free after being shot by Rasheeda. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? It's not now rotting in prison, unlike what you would imagine. The magistrate slammed how in the world did a young Frost avoid the charges that would have led any ordinary Atlanta man directly to Fulton County lockup. That gavel essentially declared, case closed. Y'all can go home. Was Daddy Kirk a manipulator? Was Rasheeda using all of that crushed boutique cash to pay some powerful attorneys? Or was there something more sinister about it? We're delving deeply into the controversy that has the internet in stitches, giggling and typing in all caps today. How could he have gotten away with it? If you're not prepared for these receipts, I assure you. Let's go back in time and rewind this entire circus because, believe me, the rabbit hole is much deeper than what the Shade Room and TMZ ever bothered to tell you. Let's start by asking who is involved. Karost, the son of Rasheeda and Kirk Frost, the hip-hop duo who made prime-time television gold out of nasty disputes. Family therapy sessions and infidelity scandals is on one side. Rapper T-Hood, on the other hand, is a man with more mugshots as opposed to mixed tapes. He had such a poisonous reputation that you would assume he was trying out to be the official antagonist of hip-hop and love. And there was a shooting in the midst of it all. The entire city of Atlanta debated whether this was justice or just plain celebrity privilege after a confrontation that left one man dead and another free. But let's not mince words. T-Hood wasn't exactly the most popular person in the neighborhood. The man's past reads like a criminal documentary series on Netflix. Allegations of domestic abuse that vanished out of thin air when witnesses abruptly stopped providing information. Accusations of child cruelty. Yes, you heard correctly. Throwing fists at grown men was not the only offense on this man's rap sheet. He was known to protect his honor with fists, bottles, or whatever weapon was closest during those late-night altercations outside Atlanta bars. In other words, Tood would have been in the Hall of Fame if theater had been a sport. Presenting Kay Frost, the daughter of Rasheeda and Kirk, and the girlfriend caught up in all of this chaos. Kay had to put up with Tood's violent outbursts for months, according to the neighbors. Late-night disputes spilling out into the driveway, screaming. Battles and police summoned to the residence. Without the production team, it resembled a reality TV show. And you know what? The situation was already being discussed in whispers. However, as usual, nothing was done until a tragedy occurred. Imagine this, then. Kai arrives and discovers his sister engaged in yet another contentious altercation with Tood. Threats were made, hands were purportedly flung, and voices were raised. According to witnesses, Tood was brandishing a firearm in addition to ranting. It was tucked into his waistband, according to some. Some claim that he flashed it as if he were trying out for a gangster movie. In any case, Kais read, the world of the Frost family is irrevocably altered when one event leads to another and suddenly Tood is on the ground. This is when the juicy part comes. In Atlanta, typically, if the system doesn't exactly give you a pass out of jail when you're a young black man with a gun and a body drop. However, after reviewing the facts in Kai's case, the DA essentially shrugs. Self-protection. The case is over. It's freedom, no trial, no protracted legal battle. Naturally, the internet also lost its communal consciousness. People were tweeting things like celebrity privilege strikes again. We're just ignoring the fact that somebody died. If Kai wasn't Rasheeda's son, he'd be in jail right now. But wait, before you grab the truth is that the Frost family didn't even need to bribe judges or twist arms. So let's examine the receipts. Pitchforks. Nothing could override the evidence. According to police documents, Kay and her friends exchanged text messages in which she said, "He put his hands on me again. I can't take it." Neighbors also testified that they had witnessed Thud threatening her in public. Prosecutors did indeed include all of those previous charges in their files. The image suddenly became apparent. This was not a haphazard shooting. A protective brother intervened before his sister's life was in danger. The paradoxes don't stop there, though. Thud's family was angry on social media as the cops finished up their self-defense papers. With tears streaming down her cheeks, his mother yelled on Facebook that Kai ought to be imprisoned. His sister said on Instagram that the Frosts evaded justice by abusing their wealth and notoriety. What's more, they created a GoFundMe. Indeed, it was a fundraiser for Thud's burial and legal defense, which may have been admirable if half of the proceeds hadn't gone straight into the family's personal bank accounts. Am I implying that they are pursuing influence? Well, the screenshots are self-explanatory. A cousin of Thud even called them out for using his death as a means of profit, and several donations were recorded as reimbursed and dubious remarks were removed. The internet is divided and Messi doesn't even begin to cover it. The Freak Kai crowd, who claim that he did what any brother would do, is on one side. Keep his sister safe. Fans of the Justice for Thud Brigade, on the other hand, believe the Frosts rigged the system. Rasheeda and Kirk are caught in the middle, grinning for Instagram selfies as if they aren't sitting on the worst family scandal since. Kirk was exposed for infidelity on national TV. Rasheeda has also been far too silent. Let's face it, she can respond to followers who inquire about her skincare brand. But now that her son's name is trending on blogs, she is suddenly silent, untrustworthy. She's either working behind the scenes as a lawyer or holding off on making one of those lengthy app apologies comments. You are aware of the kind? As we covertly design the plot of the upcoming season, we respectfully request your privacy during this trying period. Here's the real deal, and the reason this scandal isn't going away. The police report was altered, according to witnesses. Yes, rumor has it that self-defense was not explicitly included in the original report. It was ambiguous, as if there had been an altercation, one deceased party. Suddenly, after a few days, and the involvement of lawyers, it read like a classic stand your ground scenario. Is it a coincidence or deliberate editing? Do you make the decision? In any case, Kai was released, and the Frosts are now conducting their regular business. However, this situation raised a lot of issues. What is the actual impact of reality TV? Stars in Atlanta. Did investigators turn a blind eye because of the Frost name? Or was this a rare instance where justice was actually served? For once, it worked. My friends, the solutions are, at best, hazy. And believe me, the plot thickens much more in part 2. Wait till you learn about the alleged leaked information, which reveals exactly how far this rabbit hole truly extends. If you thought the shooting was awful, hip-hop and romance lovers were riveted to every update of the courtroom drama. Involving the kid of Rasheeda and Kirk Frost, people believed that his future was in jeopardy. The prosecution was making a lot of effort. Before a fair trial could, youngster Oliver's strength was put to the test during those courtroom moments. Rasheeda reportedly attended every hearing, making sure not to miss a single detail. There was a mixture of quiet terror and resolve on her face. Kirk Frost, who has faced a lot of public criticism regarding hip-hop and love, took the stage like never before. This was about family, regardless of the tumultuous TV plots and previous drama. According to insiders, Kirk was putting a lot of effort into working with legal teams and putting together a solid defense and ensuring, his kid had every chance to defend his name. And let's face it, the pressure of public opinion nearly made things worse. It was brutal on social media. Every action taken by the Frost family was examined. Before the facts were even out, their son was being dragged by memes, tweets, and Instagram postings. Anyone could have been broken by that type of pressure. but the Frosts refused to let it. They remained close, unified, and determined to prove the reality. The courtroom exploded when the judge finally read the words, "cleared of all charges." Rasheeda reportedly broke down in tears, releasing all of the feelings she had been suppressing. Kirk gave his son such a strong hug that it seemed like he would never let go. This was more than simply a legal victory for the family. It was an opportunity to rebuild independence, validation. This is where it becomes even more startling. According to insiders, the prosecution might have hurried the case without conducting its due investigation. Some claim that it was an attempt to use a well-known celebrity child as an example, placing additional pressure on the Frosts just because of their notoriety. Fans are wondering how much of this ordeal was driven by clout, pursuing headlines rather than real justice, whether this is true or not, given the prosecution's case collapse. Hip-hop and love fans are eagerly anticipating how this will appear on television. This may easily become one of the most heated plots in franchise history, since the Frosts have never been afraid to depict their real life. Turmoil on screen. Think about the stress, the tears, the rage, the redemption in the end. Comeback stories are popular with viewers, and this one is already beginning to take center stage. What will happen to their boy next, though being transparent does not guarantee an easy journey. It takes time to get over the stigma of being accused, dragged through the mud by the media, and judged by strangers online. He's resolved to utilize this experience as a wake-up call, according to family sources, concentrating on good possibilities, being near family, and avoiding the pitfalls that so many famous children fall into. This trial served as a reminder to Rasheeda of the most important things. Her focus has always been on her music, her enterprises, and her brand. However, she found a new purpose in witnessing her son struggle for his future. Yes, she wants to preserve her family's heritage, but she also wants to protect her kid from the kind of negativity that nearly destroyed him. Because she conducted herself so gracefully throughout such a storm, many are already lauding her strength and labeling her a real one. For Kirk, this marked a sea change. Hip-hop and love lovers are aware that he hasn't always had the best reputation due to hot drama and cheating scandals. However, this case revealed a different aspect. A father who sacrificed all to ensure his child had a chance. Regardless of what people may have previously thought of Kirk, this trial provided him with a unique opportunity to demonstrate his devotion as a father. The most startling aspect is that the story doesn't end, even though the Frosts prevailed in this battle. Fans are watching to see how the family heals from the trauma, both on and off screen. Will they get closer than before this experience? Or will past scars be reopened by the strain of fame, cameras, and unrelenting criticism? The Frost family has demonstrated to the world what it means to remain resilient in the face of adversity. Fans' perceptions of them going forward can be changed by the fact that their son was left free. No one can dispute that this was one of the most outrageous and surprising announcements to ever hit the Love and Hop universe. Regardless of your feelings toward them, what happened after Kirk Frost Jr.? His legal triumph has now dominated the broader celebrity news cycle in addition to the love and hip-hop communities. What began as a horrifying experience characterized by anxiety, doubt, and a sense of injustice has now evolved into a tale of courage, resiliency, and redemption. However, what occurs when the cameras stop filming and the hashtags stop being used? The real tale starts at this point. This wasn't merely a reality TV plot for Rasheeda and Kirk Frost. Their legacy, their kid, and their family were all at stake. To shield them from a system that far too frequently fails young black men, particularly those associated with fame, they had to fight tooth and nail. Even while the court's ruling provided some respite, the harm caused by the previous few months couldn't be completely undone. Friends close to the family shared behind the scenes how Kirk Frost Jr. was disturbed yet determined by the cases. Wait, According to reports, he talked candidly about how the experience showed him who really supported him and who was simply there when things were going well. Insiders claim that he now intends to utilize his position to discuss criminal justice reform and the difficulties faced by young men like him who are subjected to unjust judgment based solely on their history or name. The elephant in the room, however, must not be overlooked. There was more to this case than the law. It had to do with image, reputation, and the harsh realities of the entertainment business. Every mistake is exaggerated, every headline is twisted, and every rumor spreads like wildfire because I am the child of two reality TV veterans, Rasheeda and Kirk. On social media, some admirers hurry to disparage him, even when he is innocent, accusing him of risky behavior and living off his parents. The scars from that digital trial by fire are permanent. In a startling turn of events, though, the same internet that once condemned him is now applauding his liberty. His pages are overflowing with love and support from fans who are urging him to make this suffering into a stirring tale of recovery. After the charges were dismissed, hashtags like #FroStrong and #JusticeForGR trending, demonstrating how swiftly public opinion can change once the facts are known. Rasheeda has been more vocal than ever in the meanwhile. She is well known for her cool attitude toward hip-hop and love. Following the court ruling, she thanked God, her lawyers, and her supporters on Instagram Live while fighting back tears. She also didn't mince words while speaking to detractors. "Don't ever come for my child, no matter what you say about me, my marriage, or our program, for a period." Fans were moved by that unfiltered passion, and many of them commended her for acting like a real mother and not allowing anyone to bring her family to ruin. Conversely, Kirk Frost had a more subdued yet firm role. Despite being the more contentious member of their relationship, he shocked many by maintaining composure and focusing on his son's welfare. He was the one who reminded everyone to remain patient and let the facts speak for themselves, according to those close to the family. For once, he was portrayed as a concerned father who was working behind the scenes to clear his son's name, rather than as the frequently troublesome husband. However, this is when the narrative becomes even more intriguing. Kirk Frost Jr.'s legal team disclosed that this was not a simple miscommunication. They asserted that the case exposed shortcomings in the way law enforcement frequently treats young men of color, sometimes assuming they are guilty before all the evidence has been considered. They hinted at taking more legal action against individuals who falsely accused him in the first place, even though they did not disclose all the details. This narrative might become even more significant than anyone could have imagined if that were to occur. Hip-hop and love producers, are keeping a close eye on this whole story with dollar signs in their eyes. Although the Frost family has long been one of the most talked about houses on the show, the upcoming season may be dominated by this scandal-turned-redemption plotline. Imagine the cameras following Rasheeda and Kirk as they manage their sons, transition back to normal life, re-establish trust, and deal with the demands of celebrity following such a public trauma. Fans are already talking about how this may be the show's most poignant real-life plot point yet. However, not everyone believes it. Online skeptics speculate that the entire experience may have been exaggerated to boost viewership. They contend that when it comes to reality TV, it is impossible to discern the boundary between production and truth. However, the Frost's close associates vehemently dispute that. They claim that the emotional toll, the anguish, and the restless nights were all too real. No parent would subject their child to this for television. Reporters were informed by a family friend regarding Kirk Frost Jr. According to insiders, he has been concentrating on his mental health and maintaining a close inner group. He has been avoiding the evening environment, spending more time with his family, and surrounding himself with positive individuals rather than negative ones. To demonstrate that he is more than just their kid, there is even speculation that he may be embarking on a business venture of his own, apart from his parents. He is blazing his own trail. But there is disagreement among the public. Although many are happy that his identity has been cleared, others think the ordeal ought to be a wake-up call for him to live more sensibly. People on social media are telling him to keep in mind that everything he just worked so hard to achieve can be swiftly undone with one incorrect action. Perception can be more potent than truth in today's digital environment, and he will have to fight that struggle for the rest of his life. Unquestionably, though, this case has permanently altered the Frost family. Once viewed only as a businesswoman, and reality star Rasheeda has now solidified her reputation as a staunch guardian of her kids in the eyes of her admirers. Kirk frequently chastised for his previous transgressions. He has been shown as a parent who will always support his son, and the main character, Kirk Frost Jr., has evolved from being merely the son to having a personal narrative, a personal battle, and a personal journey of redemption. One chapter may have ended with this startling update, but the next is only getting started. Will Kirk Frost Jr. create something bigger with his newfound freedom and attention? Will Kirk and Rasheeda make this a family mission to talk? Concerned about the reform of justice? Or will they be dragged back into anarchy once more by the demands of public scrutiny and celebrity? There is no doubt that the world is observing. There you have it, everyone. The unexpected turn that no one anticipated. The truth is eventually revealed to the world as Rasheeda and Kirk Frost's son is set free following all the drama, conjecture, and turmoil in the courtroom. Tell me, though, do you believe that justice was truly done? Or is there more to this story that hasn't been revealed yet? Leave a comment with your ideas, because I'd like to get your thoughts on this crazy update. In order to avoid missing the next shocking revelation we're going to make, please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell if you've been rocking with me so far. You won't want to miss what comes next, I promise. The drama never sleeps. So until then, keep your eyes open and your tea hot.